I sleep good at night, ladies and gentlemen, because I know from not just the White House Science Czar's own government policy book, Eco Science, but from the United Nations Biological Diversity Assessment, 89-96, from the State Department Memorandum 200, the Royal Commission on Population, 49, from the minutes and documents of the Carnegie and Ford Foundation that are public from even 80 years ago. It's just amazing stuff that it is eugenics, that it's cold-blooded, they see us as animals, and they're carrying this out. And I know these vaccines are killing people, but as Dr. Eisenstein just said, the little-known secret is that these vaccines don't work. Even if you believe they work, they never get the mutation right. Doc, you want to explain that to people?
Well, it's not only the swine flu, because in 1976 we have the best experiment on vaccines ever. That was when President Gerald Ford, felt that we were going to have a swine flu epidemic and ordered the inoculation of every single American. Well, they got through about 15 or 20%, and this ran for about 5 or 6 weeks. And all of a sudden they realized there were people dying from the vaccine, but no one was dying from the swine flu. And so what they did is they immediately ended the program. They claimed only 40 or 50 people died. But, Alex, I can guarantee you, without knowing the actual data, if 40 or 50 people died, they wouldn't have stopped the program. My feeling is hundreds died. And they claimed there were 5,000 people who got a neurological disorder from the vaccine called Guillain-Barré, where you have temporary paralysis, but many times complete paralysis, which never recovers. They claim 5,000. I believe it's got to be at least 50,000, because I know almost every doctor who knew 1 or 2 patients who had Guillain-Barré from the vaccine. It's not possible. 5,000 is a very, very small number, and they wouldn't have cut it out because of that. And there was a warning just now in England from the head of neurological services that they believe that this vaccine will also cause neurological damage. Hello? We've known this for 30 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the doctor, being honest, was citing internal CDC reports, so they know.
Right, exactly. And so we already know for 76 that this flu vaccine doesn't work. But it's more than just a flu vaccine. When you take a look, and no one's better than Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. I mean, she is just the best researcher I've ever in my life met. I mean, she gets because she's so gentle-looking, Alex, that everyone is willing to give her the data thinking that she's not as radical as she is. And you take a look at her books, and you take a look at her writing, and you take a look at the data, and what does the data show? There is one disease that a vaccine has really caused to be eliminated. And you start with diseases we don't have vaccines. Tuberculosis. Why doesn't it exist today? Rocky Mountain fever, yellow fever, plague, cholera. We don't have vaccines for these. All these diseases were very rampant 100 years ago, don't exist anymore. And then when you look at the charts, like polio, diphtheria, tetanus, whooping cough, and you take a look, the disappearance of these diseases was almost, it just kept going from 80 years ago. There was a lot of these diseases, and now less and less. Then the vaccine comes in. The vaccine should change the curve. That it should drop right down. It doesn't. It continues at the same curve. So you take the tuberculosis curve, no vaccine. Overlay.
Well, doctor, let me stop you because I'm aware of the Australian, U.S., British, Canadian data. The graphs can all be superimposed. In fact, I should even dig one up online and post it. Because of indoor plumbing, because of sanitation, because of better nutrition, you see, starting 100 years ago, a massive plunge in all these diseases. Then vaccines worldwide become popular, and the diseases actually across the board start going back up, proving that these are hurting people's immune systems, causing problems. I'm not stealing your thunder.
No, you're not.
It's just you're moving quickly. It is conclusive, and that's why the eugenicists want to shoot you up, the evidence shows, is because they believe they're naturally coming in to reapply diseases that hand washing and better nutrition and running water have gotten rid of. Go ahead, sir.
Let me tell you, you are 100% right. But here's what's happened. There's not a lot of treatment for many of these diseases that we mentioned. And so they have to come up with a real scheme, and that is, how do we create chronic illness, arthritis, cancer, heart disease, where people will live for a substantial amount of time and will have to take drugs for the rest of what we've done. We've replaced infectious disease with chronic illness, and I'm convinced the vaccines are the #1 cause of our chronic illness.
And by the way, you said that in books years ago and on this show. Now we have mainstream news reporting in laboratory tests that it's giving the rats they give the vaccines to chronic, hardcore arthritis. We'll be right back and talk about that with Dr. Eisenstein.